This video is to give you homework hints for section 1.2.1. The problems are 146 through 150. So for 146, you're going to match each of the descriptions of the pennies with the possible numerical expression and then calculate the value of each expression. So first of all, remember a numerical expression. Numerical means it just contains numbers. Numerical means numbers. And an expression means it's not an equation. So it could be something like, all of these are numerical expressions, but something like, 4 times 3 plus 2 times 6 is a numerical expression. So you're going to take these descriptions, A, B, C, and D, and match them with the correct numerical expression from above, and then calculate the value. In other words, what is that expression equivalent to in number form? So you're going to look at each of these sets, each of the explanations, and see which one fits. All right. Let me just go ahead and look at D with you. So a rectangular array of pennies that is 6 pennies wide and 20 pennies long. So they're saying if you had a array of pennies, if pennies were arranged in a rectangle, and it was 6 pennies across and 20 pennies long, and then you had 5 leftover pennies beside it. Okay, so if you have a rectangle that's 6 pennies wide, 20 pennies wide, or pardon me, 20 pennies long, and then you had these 5 leftover pennies on the side, which of these numerical expressions would seem to match how you would find that value? Okay. Keep in mind that when you see a number in front of a parentheses without another operation sign in between, it means multiply. So this is the same as 8 times 12 plus 7, 6 times 20 plus 5, and so forth. So that is a way that we indicate multiplication. We also do it with a raised dot. We also do it with an X, but we get away from the X in middle school because we end up using X as a variable. So another way to do it instead then is to put a number in front of parentheses without another mathematical operation in between, and that means multiply. So would it be 1, 2, 3, or 4 that would match up with the arrangement that is specified in D? Once you figure out which one it is, then find the value of that. Okay. So you're going to have A match up with one of these, B, C, and D, and then you're going to need to find the value basically of all 4 of these. For 147, they want you to write a whole number or fraction in the blank to make the statement true. So 100 pennies equals how many dollars? 200 pennies equals how many dollars? Where it usually confuses people is C, D, and E, because again, it can be a fractional answer. So 50 pennies is what part of a dollar? 10 pennies is what part of a dollar? 1 penny is what part of a dollar? So C, D, and E will be fractions. Then for 148, it says Matthew's mother asked him to go to the store for her. To get to the store, he walked 7 city blocks. He caught the bus and rode 13 blocks. He got off and walked 1.5 blocks to the store. He purchased his items the mother wanted and returned home the same way. How many total blocks did he travel? So it does not say you have to make a diagram. If you want to, you could. But otherwise, he's walking 7, riding 13, walking 1.5, and then gets to the store and goes back the exact same pathway. So how many total blocks did he travel? For 149, you need to figure out what numbers should go into these rectangles, or in this case, rectangle and triangle, to make these division problems correct. All right. So what they're looking for here is 6 into something in the tens digit, 2 in the ones digit should equal 12. So you're asking yourself, do I put a 1 in here? In other words, is it 12 divided by 6 equaling 12? Or is it a 2, 22 divided by 6 equals 12, 32, 42, or what have you? B is a little bit more difficult, but there's actually 2 possibilities for B, and I'll take either one. So this now has the missing value in the tens digit between the hundreds and the 1, and it also has a missing value up here. So you might want to think to yourself, all right, is this 208 divided by 4? In which case, what does that equal? Or is it 218? or is it 228? Now you might say to yourself, well, how could that be? There could be any possibilities. Well, there really only is, like I said, two of them, two possibilities where a number you put in here divided by 4 will give you 50 something, or a different number that you put in here divided by 4 will give you 50 something. So there's only two where it comes out to be a nice whole number answer up here without any remainder. For 150, they want you to know that a line segment is just a portion or a piece of a straight line. And they want you on your paper to draw two straight lines that are the same length, and each of them should be about as long as a pen. Then they want you to draw marks on the first line to show how you can divide it into 8 equal lengths. All right, so how could you divide a line segment into 8 equal lengths? And part of what they're getting at here is, especially if you're doing it without a ruler, the best way to get a good approximation is to first divide it in half, because half is fairly easy to estimate, and then divide those halves into halves, and so on until you get to 8 equal parts. Then for B, they want you to take the second line segment that you drawn, and this time try to estimate or divide it into 5 equal lengths. And then they want to know which one was easier than the other. Divide it into eighths or divide it into fifths, which one and why. So that is your homework for this section. And again, if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.